Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's the post-lunch malaise. So I want to ask you to do something first before we begin. As I was introduced, I'm the director of Facing History and Ourselves, the regional director, but there's many offices of Facing History, and we have a table over there, so I asked you to come over and talk more. But given our time frame, I want to engage you with something, because I want you to experience a little bit of Facing History and Ourselves in the time that I have. So I want you to turn to somebody, hopefully somebody you didn't come with, and I'd like you to discuss quickly, because I only have, this is my time, I'd like you to engage with this question. Think about an issue, a recent issue, that has compelled you to act. Think about a recent issue that has compelled you to act, and just exchange real quick. Act can mean talk about it with a loved one. It could be doing something maybe politically active. It doesn't have to be. It can be anything about what it means to act. But just share what that recent issue is that has compelled you to act very quickly. Okay, if I could bring you back. The idea of thinking of questions and using our own experience and choices that we make is really the work of Facing History and Ourselves for 35 years now. The organization is based on the premise that history is not inevitable, that it is a series of choices that individuals make to act or not act. And what compels us to act is at the heart of our work. And Facing History's work is about using inquiry in the humanities. Even though the name says Facing History, it's really all the disciplines in the social sciences. It's about understanding actions over time. What are the patterns? What are the aspects of our identity that compels us to act? And that's what the work is about. So that issue that you just thought of, if we had time, we could unpack why did that issue compel you to act? What about who you are? Your identity, your own history allowed you to act in a certain way, whether it's to change the issue, to educate about the issue, to inform your students or colleagues about the issue. Very much a personal endeavor, and that's the work of Facing History and Ourselves. Ida B. Wells said, "The people must know before they act." The people must know before they act. So I'd like to show you something about Facing History and Ourselves, because I had limited time. Thought this would be a good way to do it. And then I'm going to bring you back to some of the work that we do locally and internationally. So Taylor, if you could. really like that piece. I really like it because for the 25 years that I've been working with Facing History, both as a teacher for 10 years and most recently in this capacity, it's always very hard to describe the work we do because it's complicated, it's layered, it takes time, it's not a quick fix. It's about institutionalizing curriculum and institutionalizing ideas that take time. So this is our website, facinghistory.org, and Taylor was lovely enough to bring this up at the last minute. And in that right corner there, you see a circle. And in that circle, and it also is in this brochure at our table, so feel free to come by and get it, there's 5 themes that are the backbone of our work. So how do we figure out to help ourselves in order to help our students act ethically? It's a huge, ambitious idea. It's a lifelong process. How do we help ourselves become more human, more humane, and in the idea of Ida B. Wells, to act from what we know? So this journey, what we call, is the Facing History Scope and Sequence. The 5 themes are what we call the individual and society. Who am I, and what are the factors that shape my identity? How do I make choices based on who I am, as a mother, as a teacher, as an American, whatever it may be? Things that are visible, things that are invisible, that you can't see about me, but have everything to do about how I act and how I make a choice. With the second theme there is what we call we and they. How does my identity then impact who I include or who I exclude? How have nations included or excluded? We then look at what we call history. I'd like to put that box really humanities because we work with as many English teachers and civics teachers and humanities teachers as we do history teachers, per se. So we're very interdisciplinary. That's a case study approach. So the materials that we have on our table are just a sampling, but we have 4 main case studies, as well as working with filmmakers such as Bill Moyers and others to illuminate their documentaries and illuminate moments in history, whether it's the Armenian genocide. Barb mentioned the work that she does with us around Weimar Germany and the rise of the Third Reich. We look at issues of the civil rights movement by the case study of the Little Rock Nine. And we look at contemporary issues as well related to what we call race and membership in American history around the eugenics movement, race science. So that's our case studies, but again, we have lots and lots of supplemental resources that illuminate that. And then we come to this 4th theme, judgment, memory, and legacy. From this journey of identity, of understanding how nations and communities, individuals include or exclude, how history or humanities can illuminate that, we then are reflective. How do we judge? Not like those shoes are beautiful, but how do we use what Hannah Arendt said to think more about our own thinking? What if we had the opportunity to think about our own thinking and to have informed judgment? That's what that judgment is. And it's also about memory. How do we use memory, monuments, art, music, to be thoughtful about this history? And what are the legacies of it today? Ultimately, it's to this idea of choosing to participate, which is what I asked you in the beginning. What's an issue that compelled you to act? That's choosing to participate. And it's about empowering ourselves to act. No political agenda, no religious bias. It's about your own sense of voice in the world. And that's the work that we do in Facing History in ourselves. If, Taylor, you could scroll back up. This website you can navigate on your own, but educator resources, I just want to point out, is the place that you want to go. So please come see me at the table. We have amazing events in the next couple weeks, ongoing professional development that's free. Our resources are downloadable for free, so I thank you for your time.